everybody, it's Nick, head of content for Powtoon, and joining me is...
Hey guys, my name's Dan Nathan. I'm the head of customer success at Powtoon.
And today we are going to show you everything you need to know to get started fast with Powtoon Enterprise. Now, we all know it's harder and harder to grab attention today. And just sending an email or drafting a manual is basically a waste of time because nobody's gonna read it, right? But what if you could transform your emails, your training manuals, your IT and employee onboarding, and even your marketing and sales content into attention-catching video with that wow factor? That's why Powtoon exists, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just a theory. It's backed by real enterprises who are changing the way they communicate with short videos and presentations. I just want to talk just for a moment about all the people who are using Powtoon. 96% of the Fortune 500 are using Powtoon. They're using it for internal communications, training and development, IT, HR, operations, management, ethics, and compliance, strategy and planning and internal communications. And they're communicating outside their organizations at the C-level for marketing, for sales, and for product announcements. It's an amazing thing. But just listen to what Dalia Hamza, Information and Security Director at Dun & Bradstreet, had to say about how they use Powtoon. Employees really connected to the Picto character. They call him Ted. He's on stickers throughout the office, awards we made to give out, and someone even dressed up as him on Halloween. Powtoon has become a staple of our company's security culture. And I also just want to show you what Rich Dawson, who heads up training and development at Virgin Trains UK, he's responsible for training the people who keep thousands of rail passengers safe every day. He says Powtoon is a great time saver, and it gets the same, if not a better impact as something you spend hours and hours slaving over. So you guys, you want to know, how does it work? Not just that it works. You see it here, that is being used by over 20 million users worldwide, that Powtoon is opening up video for people in ways they never thought they could see it before. So let's take a look at exactly what makes Powtoon tick, what makes it so special. What you're in for today is a quick tour of Powtoon Enterprise, all of the unique features that are available for enterprise users, and a quick run through of how to get started quickly, customizing a template and making your very own awesome video content. We're just going to take a look right now. What you see on the screen is your My Powtoons page. This is like your dashboard. Every single user of Powtoon has their My Powtoons page, and on that page you can access templates or start a new video project. You can also see all of the projects you've done before, and I'm just going to hand this over to Dan Nathan, who's going to tell us a little bit more about all of the enterprise features available here on the My Powtoons page.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the great introduction, Nick. Okay, guys, I want to welcome you here to the My Powtoons page. This is your dashboard. Okay, this is where all your Powtoons that you've made will be stored for you to share them, publish them, edit them. You'll be able to start from scratch with a blank Powtoon. You're able to create a new one from many of our wonderful templates. I'm going to show you basically a few features of the My Powtoons page here, and we have a few saved Powtoons here already, as you can tell. You have a few options that are very similar in our public platform to our enterprise platform. You can delete, you can duplicate. And one of the great benefits of being on our enterprise platform is the ability to share or even collaborate a Powtoon with somebody else inside your team, which we'll go into very shortly. The share option is here. You simply click on the share option and you can choose from any of the teams that you're a member of, and you can share that Powtoon with that entire team. So everybody in that team will be able to access your Powtoon and collaborate on it together. You can simply click on the team you want to share it with, send a little note if you want, and that will send them an email. And basically what that does is that will then share that Powtoon with them. So they'll receive an email saying, hey, your Powtoon's been shared with you. Feel free to go in and start editing. And that's what you can do. So we'll come out of that. It takes us back to the My Powtoons page. You can simply click on edit to go into the editor, and you've got your export options here. One thing you're going to notice in the enterprise platform is the team page, which we're going to go into. And inside the team page, we have certain levels of user. We have team member and we have team admin. So we're here acting as the team admin in this case. And you can see inside this team page, we have a list of all the users who are basically currently active in the platform. We have those who are pending, so those who have been invited but not yet accepted. And then we have unassigned users who are a member of any team, and you can delete them from the organization. So here we have quite an active list of users already inside. And on the left-hand side, you can see all the different teams or projects or Powtoons, however you want to call them. You can set up new teams on the left-hand side here. So we've set up quite a few different teams here, from all staff to biz dev, product, etc., etc. And you also have the ability to create sub-teams from that as well. If you want to create a new team, very simple. Click on the X, create a team name. We'll just call it test team, for example. And it'll create it, and it'll give you the option straight away to start inviting users or new users to that team. At the moment, we have 0 users on there. And from each team or project, if you like, you've got the option here of adding a sub-team, inviting new members, renaming the team, or deleting the team. So when you're ready to invite new people to a team, simply click on Invite Members, type the email address in, and you've got the option of making them a team admin or a team member. So a team admin basically has access to what you see here, the team page. They can create teams, delete teams, add people from teams, and also remove them as well. And a team member just has basic access. They wouldn't be able to access the team page, but they would have all the collaborative options, both inside the My Powtoons page and the editor, which you'll see shortly. So we'll make this person a team member, click on invite, and that user has now been sent an email inviting them to join the organization account, and then they can go ahead and create their profile and access their account. You can also invite new members by clicking the invite member button from there. From the active list, you have a lot of options as well. You have the options of reassigning their current admin rights, so you can edit the member, you can change the team, you can edit the teams and the roles that this person is a member of. And you can also, if you want to, completely remove them from the organization. So you've got the options there. In a nutshell, that is the team page.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dan. I just love how you get that fine control. You know exactly where your data is going, who has access to what, who's on what team. Get that perfect control. That's something that all of our enterprise clients are interested in, being able to call the shots for their team and really be able to coordinate what they're doing so they can be as efficient as possible and as secure as possible. Okay, we're back on the My Powtoons page, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you the Powtoon Studio. We're going to do a full navigation. The way we're going to do that is we're going to customize a template. So if you click right here, this takes you to your list of templates. We've got dozens and dozens and dozens of these for all sorts of different use cases. In fact, you can filter them here. So if you're doing something for training and tutorials, HR, marketing videos, management related, tips and lists, announcements, reports, all sorts of different reasons why you might want to make a video to grab attention at work, to get your message across. We're going to take a look here at training and tutorials. And let's see here. I really, all of these are so important when you're talking about getting your staff trained up, being sure they've got the basics of everything you need everyone to be on the same page about. But especially, we really see people using this to engage people in events at work, right? So let's take a look at this template here. We're just going to preview it, and this will load up and show us what the blank template looks like without it being customized. I think you guys get the idea there. You know what? I want to use it. I think this is great. I can press use template right here. This will launch the editor. Or if this is not what I'm looking for, I can take a look at something else. For instance, to preview this timeline thing. Let's say we're doing some employee onboarding. Let's say we're doing some employee onboarding and we want to give them the basics, the history of the company, where we came from and where we're going. This timeline template is really, really awesome for that. There's all sorts of things here, but let's go ahead and customize this why join our training session. This is a way to generate interest, to get people excited for all the things that you're going to teach them, for all the benefits they're going to get, how it's going to make their job easier. So let's just go ahead and click use, and then this is going to load up the Powtoon Studio. We're going to give you a quick navigation just to get you oriented, to show you where everything is in the Powtoon Studio. On your left is your slides list. This should look familiar to anybody who's used any kind of presentation software. Each one of these slides in sequence make up a part of your video. And then in between here, these are transitions that you can add. We've got a ton of transitions here. They're super cool. Some of them are stylized. Some of them have more of a camera feel. Some of them, like this executive set, they're all animated professionally by our crack design team. So this is just a great way you can also go through with that number list there. By the way, if you're ever in need of the quick menu to get back to the My Powtoons page or to the templates or anything like that, you can just use your quick menu on the left here. What you'll notice up top, this bar up here, first of all, we're in quick edit mode. That's the mode you start in when you begin to customize a template. More on that in a minute. Of course, you can click full studio mode, and someday very soon we're cooking up some advanced features. Right here, you can access some helpful items. Get straight to our tutorials if you have any questions. See Pow Tips. These are short, interesting tips about new features. Keyboard shortcuts, if you're one of those folks who likes to move at blazing speeds across the keyboard, we've got you covered there. And of course, you can access our help center. Undo, redo. You can title and edit the title of your Powtoon up here. On your right is save and all of the saving things. And then, of course, you can preview and export your Powtoon there. Moving down. We have a grid to help you keep everything aligned. You can toggle that on and off right here. Aspect ratio. Right now, we're in a horizontal aspect ratio. This is definitely best for YouTube and Vimeo. It works on Facebook as well. Square optimized for Facebook and Instagram, and vertical, anything that you're going to be showing a video on a mobile phone. So like an Instagram story or anything like that, you're going to want to go with vertical. Right now, we're going to stick with horizontal for what we're doing. And of course, some zoom. If you want to get in, get some detail, you need to move things around, you can do that right here. Moving right along, this widget connects you to our enterprise support team. They can help you. There's all sorts of featured articles here. You can search around topics, or you can simply enter a ticket right here, and someone from our team will get back to you to help you resolve your issue as soon as possible. Now, regarding the support team, Dan happens to have intimate knowledge about our support team and the wonderful things they do. Tell us a little bit more about what that's all about.
Well, guys, so we have an incredible support team and a dedicated support team as well for all our enterprise customers with guaranteed SLAs, response times. Guys, you can reach out and get the most incredible support 24/7. Get this, 365 days a year, not 364, 365 days a year.
366 on leap years.
On leap years, absolutely. Once every 4 years, you can have an extra day of support.
Except on century years, of course.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay.
You get the message, guys.
Oh, good stuff. So, here's what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you, this is the very fastest way. If you're pressed for time, and all of us are, and you simply want to just do the very basics to get your video done quickly, you want to stay in quick edit mode, you want to customize your text and your information and get out quick. We're going to show you exactly how to do that here. So let's say, good news, this coming date. So let's say I'm holding a training this coming Thursday. Let's say that. This coming Thursday. Boop. And just like you would in any other slide deck or anything that's got text box, you double click on the text box. That'll highlight your text, and then you can adjust it from there. Say this isn't the size font I want, I can adjust that right here. If I want to change fonts, we've got tons of different guys in here. How about this? Funky, yes,
wow.
Crazy. How about that letter? You know, whatever works for you guys, and you may even have some brand standards and things like that you'll want to adhere to there. Of course, bold, italic, underline, all those good things that we're used to work with text. Here's a cool thing: opacity. How about that? You can make your text semi-transparent. There's all sorts of reasons why you would want to do that. We've got other effects here. So you can have a hand write your words, you can have the words appear, you can have the letters roll in, all sorts of wonderful options. And of course, arrange and link. Now, link is really exciting. If you're showing your Powtoon on a Powtoon player page, you can link any text at all to any URL that you like. So when you share the Powtoon player page, anyone will be able to click on this. Of course, when you export an MP4, that linkability will not be there. Another thing to take a look at here, How about this background? Let's say you want to just shake it up. You sent this template out the last time you had a training, so you don't have time to change every word. You don't have time to create any kind of new animation or anything like that, but you just want to give it a unique feel. Color, right here. You can choose any of these colors. You can mouse around and find the color you like. You can use our color sampler and you can sample any color that you've got on the screen here. So let's say I wanted to have the background to be the same color as this orange that's here. I can click that, boom, one click, I've got that color. And I can adjust it. Let's say, you know what, actually, I want it a little bit darker. There we go. And Halloween. Because we're kind of Halloween colors here. And how about this? We're just going to change this to white. This to white. Boom. Completely different look. This is for your October training, whatever you're going to do. So this is just a simple way. Again, this is like learning a language by reading the dictionary. There's all sorts of possibilities here. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go into full studio mode. This is super important, especially when you want to customize stuff. Yeah, look at all these extra options we have here. And the most important thing to talk about is right down here, the timeline. So when you're in quick edit mode, the timeline's not a concern. All the timing, when objects enter the stage, when they leave the stage, all of everything you've got as far as how long the slides are, that's all set by your template. And in quick edit mode, you're not going to change that. You're only customizing text, swapping out objects, changing colors, changing backgrounds, all those sorts of things. But when you open full studio mode, that's when you unlock the timeline. And this shows you everything you need to know. You have full control of when items are coming on stage, how they come on stage, when they leave, all that good stuff. So let's just dissect this a little bit here. We see our megaphone shows up at 1 second and it enters left. So it goes like this. From the left, from the right to the left. This little triangle, we call it the playhead. This shows you where you are. If you add something new to this stage, it's going to put it right where your playhead is. So if I leave my playhead at 3 seconds, and let's say I pull a character. Let's say I want to add one of these lovely characters to Meet the Pros set. I really like this lady. Now you'll notice that because my playhead was at 3 seconds, she dropped right in at 3 seconds. But I can always move where her entrance is just by clicking and dragging down here. I can also change the way she comes in. Let's say I want her to come up. And I'm also going to adjust this character's size just by clicking and dragging like this. Now, Dan, what's the problem here? What have I done? What's the problem here?
The problem is I can't read This Coming Halloween.
I know, we've lost it. So what do? We're going to go up to settings. I selected the character just by clicking on her, but I can also select her by clicking on her card down here. And then let's go to settings, this gear wheel, and we have control over so much, but especially arrange. Let's move her all the way to the back. Oh,
wow.
I guess I didn't want her all the way to the back, right? Because now this bar is on top of her, but we've got the text in front. That's what we wanted. So you know what? I'm just going to click the bar and send the bar all the way to the back, and that solves my problem there. Look at that. We've got layering. We've got some depth here. We've got a character on. This now becomes 10 times more engaging than it was before. Okay, I'm going to show you now. This is getting to some advanced stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This is really good. But before I move on to that, I just want to continue around, show you all of the extra goodies that you unlock when you open the full studio. First of all, the look. Now, there are 5 looks in Powtoon. What does that mean? This is something we've done to try and make everything easier, more aligned, and make it so simple to have a coherent visual vocabulary in your video. That's what these are for. Modern Edge, every character style, all of the props, all of the shapes, everything associated with that, everything is going to have a consonant look and feel. And so that's just one way to help focus your work so you don't have to waste a bunch of time searching around to find the right coffee cup to match the characters that you're using and all that sort of stuff. Modern Edge is great for like young, hip startups, that sort of vibe. Whiteboard, of course, is a classic for explaining complex ideas to situations. Cartoons, our roots are in cartoons. We love cartoons. All of us grow up watching cartoons. They are really, really effective for opening people up to a new idea or a new message. There's no better way to show data. Data, what puts you to sleep faster than a spreadsheet? Am I right? Dan Nathan, am I right? But
really right.
Really right. But an infographic is a way to show that data and make it come alive. And finally, real. This is so key for so many contexts, to be able to have something that's a little more corporate, a little more professional, but still brings that wow factor, which is why so many people love Powtoon. So what I'm going to show you right now, here you've got scenes. A scene is simply a slide with text, characters, a background. It's fully composed. This slide right here is a scene, in effect. And in fact, if I really like this, let's say I've spent some time on this, I really like it, I want to use it again, I can just save current scene, boom, and it's right there in my scenes. I can get it one click whenever I want. And you'll also notice here, we've got shared scenes from other teams. Is that right, Dan Nathan?
Absolutely. So guys, this is a feature of the Enterprise platform. The sharing of scenes, the saving of scenes is available both on Public and Enterprise, but what the Enterprise has is the sharing of scenes. So what you can basically do here is once you've created a scene, you can then, so we'll just use the scene that Nick's created, you can then click on the share icon, and if you remember when I showed you the collaboration of Powtoons, you do something similar. You can basically share that scene with any of the teams that you're a member of. So for example, Approved Branding, and you can share it that way. And what it then does is it then creates, under scenes, it creates a folder. In this case, one was already created because we've already previously shared another scene. But what you can do here is you can access all the scenes saved under this folder. In this case, Approved Branding.
And I just want to point out there, so Dan clicked this scene here, and what you'll notice about the timeline, look what happened to the timeline. We're now 17 seconds in length. That's because this scene was 17 seconds long. Even though our scene earlier, I'm just going to do one click and click the scene we had a second ago. This is only 4 seconds long. All of that information is saved along with your slide. And of course, we also have scenes that are pre-made for you, designed by our team. They're perfect for showing specifics, comparing data, image grids, which is an awesome way to show a collage of images, right? Situations where you're getting frustrated at work, meeting the team, team meeting, all these sorts of things. Concepts, and of course, so important, calls to action, right? You want to tell people what to do when you're done. So this is just another tool for you to be able to get started and get working quickly.
Guys, just wanted to go back very quickly to the shared scenes. Now, the reason this is so great, guys, is particularly in a corporate environment, very much like the one that you're in. You're going to have very specific brand guidelines, especially when creating presentations such as the ones that you expect to do with Powtoon. For example, you may want to create intros and outros, and which need to be used, for example, throughout the organization or throughout the team, which means everybody else who's part of that team needs to create a presentation with the same intro, the same outro. So you can do it here. You can create your intro, for example, share it with a team, and everyone in that team has access to that same intro. And through that, you retain the same brand consistency. So that's one of the great features regarding the shared scenes.
Definitely powerful. We're going to keep going through the menus here so we know what's going on. Backgrounds. So we already talked about how to change the color of a background, but did you know that you can also use any image, and you can also use videos, MP4 files to make up your background?
Really?
Yes, this is wild. You can upload your own right there, and they'll live in your My Media file. Or we also have, look at this, all these videos from Storyblocks. They're one of the largest online stock footage repositories out there. And we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of videos available for you here. So let's take a look here. As you can see, if you hover over the video, it shows you a preview. got people walking. This is good stuff. Now, what's so wonderful about this is they completely transform the way a slide feels. So let's take a look. Let's try this guy. I'm just going to click it once. As you can see down here, it's loading that that video file into my media. It's now been added to my media, and I want to add it to this slide. So I'm adding it right here. A couple of quick things to notice. Down in the lower left-hand corner of any video background, you're going to see the controls for this video itself. So if this video, let's say I recorded an interview and I wanted to upload that, 40 seconds of an interview with someone, I'm going to want to use that sound that's on that video. But you have the option to turn it off right here if you want to stick with your soundtrack that you're using. We'll get to sound in just a minute. Also, you have control over where the video starts and stops. This is a 19-second clip. And we're showing seconds 0 through 4. That's because this is a 4-second slide. As you can see, there's an additional 15 seconds. Where did those go? Powtoon simply creates a slide and spills it over, inserts it in between. So if the video is longer than your slide, it does not change the timing of your original slide. And if you don't want this here, one click, you can delete it. And now your timing from your template is completely preserved, but you've got this beautiful video background with your text going on it. So let's just take a look and see what this looks like. We're going to go from the end of the slide before. See how that just completely changes it. And obviously you don't want just one slide to look this way. This would be the kind of thing you can take a few minutes and go through and pick a video that matches the vibe of each slide, or perhaps have the same video going through a couple of slides. So for instance, we know that this is seconds 0 through 4 here. This is a really similar look on this one. We could actually use this same video here. Now let's go back to my media. It should be the first video. It sure is. And now let's delete this guy. And this 0 through 9, but we want this to start at 5 just so we don't have any glitch in our video. So seconds 0 through 4, and then 5 through 14 on this slide. Now, Dan, tell me, what's wrong with this slide?
I can't read the writing.
Right, you can't read that writing. All of a sudden, because we've got a video background, there's dark colors, there's all sorts of shades and gradients. This text color works great up here, but it works terribly down here. So there's a few things you can do, and this is my favorite strategy. It also gets us down the list here to look at shapes. I'm going to grab a shape, just this square here. I'm going to line it up with this line. I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to change its color to white. I'm going to make it a little more transparent. Take down that opacity. And then last step, move it to the back. Now, our text is crisp and clear, and we still have the power of this beautiful video background. Last thing, just check that timeline, because of course my playhead was all the way at 8 seconds. So what I want to do is drag this to the beginning of the slide so that it's right there, right when we start. In fact, I might even, check this out. So I've got this shape selected. I'm going to right click, copy. I'm going to go back here, right click, paste, boom. So now we've got the same guy, just got to remember to put him back. And why don't we have, boop, sorry, right when the text comes in, we're going to have this come down. So let's take a look at these 2 slides in a row now and see how it looks. So just one last thing I want to go through here. All of the different options you have for text. You've got plain old text, and of course you can adjust the font and the sizes and all those things in the menu as I mentioned. But I want to talk about these text overlays. These are so cool. These are one-click, pre-designed options for text. And what I'm just going to do is make a new slide down here. And for any of these, we're also going to just make this color a little bit darker. And look at these are so awesome. Just one click. Say yes, it could be this, or you could There we go. And use one of these. This year, 2018, we could use this guy. All of these are set for you. They're so easy to work with. You just customize the text. You can even, watch this. You can even change the color of these extra swoops and swooshes that are around. So like, let's take a look here. Change that. This one to, let's make it something nice and visible. And we're also gonna take the opacity up just a little bit.
Wow.
Look at that. So that's design text. It's really great stuff. Dan, you said you had something else you wanted to say about this.
Yeah, guys, listen, design text is one of my favorite features in Powtoon, and I'll tell you why. Because look at what Nick has produced. You saw him, it took probably maybe 15 seconds to produce a scene like that. It looks like it's been done by a amazing professional designer with 50 years experience. But what we've done for you in Powtoon is we have those designers, and we basically created these amazing text overlays or design text for you. And as Nick's shown you, they're fully customizable. Change them, leave them as they are, do whatever you want with them, guys. They're gonna look awesome with minimal of effort.
Boom. Okay, you guys, before we are done here, I just want to run through all of the other items on your menu here. Characters, we saw that briefly earlier. This is where you can find all of the different characters from all of the different styles. Again, if you want to change your look, you can do that right up here. Props. This is all, we've got props for all kinds of situations, right? Hand gestures, tech and web, office, business, transport, medical, everyday, food, free, all these things. There's everything you could possibly need for any situation. And of course, if you're looking for something that's not in your look, you can just click search all looks and it's going to show you everything. We showed you shapes a minute ago. By the way, these sparkles and swooshes are animated shapes that come on and can add emphasis and all sorts of things. These overlays, these are great to remember that opacity trick I showed you with the shape. Well, these are pre-made, guys, for you to be used with live action video backgrounds so that you can put text on top, and they've got all sorts of cool animations to make them come in, all that kind of stuff. Sound, right? The sound is so important, you guys. It's a huge part of how human beings learn and take in information. You can set the tone entirely with your music, and we've got all these royalty-free soundtracks here. We're adding new ones all the time, or you can upload your own music. You can also upload voiceover tracks. No problem at all. You can do that right here. In fact, you can even record your voiceover right with your computer audio right there. Media. This is so important. We showed earlier when you upload a background or when you choose a background video, that goes into your My Media folder, which of course you can access for backgrounds, but there's also a whole section for media. And what's wonderful about this and exclusively available on the Enterprise platform are these shared media drives. Dan, you want to tell us a little more about how that works?
So yeah, thanks, Nick. So the shared media folders work pretty much in the same way as the shared scenes do as well. So if you have any specific media, that means images, that means MP4 videos, because guys, you can also upload your own videos that you want to share throughout the company or with specific teams, you can do that inside the Enterprise platform only. So if you have a company logo which meets a certain dimension, it meets a certain resolution, you can't just go on Google and pull off your company logo, but you have a specific one that you want to make sure stays used throughout every Powtoon made by everybody in your organization. This is how you can do it. So you simply upload add the media that you want. Let's say in this case, this background was the one we wanted, is one we used earlier. Simply share that by hitting the share icon, and again, you can share that, for example, to the team here, Approved Branding. And just like the shared scenes, anybody who's a member of that team called Approved Branding can open it up and go in, and they have access to that media as well. So yeah, guys, check it out. It's a fantastic feature exclusively on the Enterprise platform only.
Great. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you guys so much for watching. We just have a couple of last items for you before we say goodbye. What I like to call the 2 painful mistakes to avoid when you're working on Powtoon. These are, if you pay attention to this, it's going to help you save time and pain. Mistake number 1, working harder, not smarter, because you forgot about templates. Those templates are your friends. They're your friends to get started quickly, but they're also your friends to help learn how is a Powtoon composed? What is the pacing of changing from one section to another? Take a look at some of those. We've got all sorts of different ones that are tips and lists, ones that are explainers, really like telling a small story. Also, there's all kinds of visual effects you'll see. So preview a bunch of those templates. If you see some kind of effect you want to replicate, then choose that template, go in the Powtoon Studio, click Full Studio so you can see how everything's arranged on the timeline, and you can go in and just dissect what's in there for inspiration and to learn new skills. So don't forget about the templates, ladies and gentlemen. They are your friends and they're definitely there to help. And finally, mistake number 2, getting ahead of yourself because you forgot to prepare. So the truth is, there's a whole bunch of stuff you should do before you start working on your Powtoon. And here's a quick handy checklist for you. Number 1, consider the format, right? How long should it be? What are you trying to get across? Who's your target audience? Do you want it to be a vertical video, a square video, a horizontal video? You want to sort all of that out before you start working. What's your script? What are the words that are going to show up on the screen? If you're recording a voiceover, what are the words you're going to say in your voiceover? How are you going to grab people at the beginning, keep them interested through, how are you going to add some humor to it? How are you going to add a little personality? How are you going to make it unique? These are all things to think about when you're writing your script. If you do want to include a voiceover is the third step here. You've thought about the format, the overall idea, you've written down your script, then record your voiceover, and then start Powtooning, ladies and gentlemen. So that's definitely what I recommend. Dan, do you have any other parting words to let the people know where they should go? What's their next step? How do they get started? Who can they talk to if they need help?
Hey, thanks, Nick. Yeah, guys, just to reiterate what Nick said, do your voiceover before you start editing your Powtoon. Absolutely key. You'll notice that once you've got your voiceover, fitting your Powtoon around the voiceover makes the editing and so much easier for you. Regarding the help, guys, as I said before, we have a support team operating 24/7 for you, 365 days a year. Also, as Nick pointed out before, we have a help center full of articles for you. You can reach out to our support team as well.
All right, so this is wonderful stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. We barely covered the beginning, right? There's so much more to learn and so much more to do. But if your organization already has an enterprise account, please contact your org admin so that they can add you to a team and you can get started. If you're interested in punching up your internal communications and making a real impact at work, then contact a salesperson or just email enterprise@powtoon.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Send us your questions our way and we'll do our very best to get back to you with answers. Dan, any last thoughts?
I just want to thank everyone for attending this. Hope you found it very useful. Nick, thank you as always for being awesome.
My pleasure. And for all of you out there, whatever you make in this world, remember to make it awesome. See you guys.